Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Saturday live stream. Today, I am joined by Lizelle, who also has an author channel, if you don't already know that, and you should definitely be subscribed to her. So, I don't know if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, that was very good. Well, I have a channel. I have a book. I've been tabbing it for reasons, sequel reasons. So that's why I actually conveniently have it there. Yeah, and I talk about my journey and my writing and stuff.
And when does your book come out?
June 15th of this year, 59 days from now, because I have a counter.
So, pre-order if you haven't already.
Yeah.
But yeah, seeing a lot of people that were in our Saturday chat from last week. So happy that you guys have joined again. I don't know. Should I click on people? I always feel like people. Laura's here, Melissa, Nikki. That stop picking your nose is a good username. Elaine is here. Jenny, Megan, Sherry, Jay, Alexandra, Violet. And I've seen a lot of people in here that also have channels. So Nina's here. So if you guys should find more people to follow. If you are also an author tuber, let us know in the chat so other people can find you as well. So we're mid Camp NaNoWriMo now.
It's true. Which is so fast. Like, yeah. It feels like you turned around and it's like halfway through now.
How is everybody doing with their goals? I personally am very behind. I'm supposed to, and I thought 20,000 words drafted, that was my goal, was going to be easy. And now I'm sitting here like, this is not easy. I'm so far behind. I think I only have like 5,000 words written, I feel like, for the month so far. So I really got to like get my butt in gear.
It's like goals sometimes get away from you, and sometimes you're like, I can do this in like this amount of time, and then you're like, oh no, I couldn't at all. That was like me editing my sequel. I was like, oh, I can 100% do this in 1 month, and then I was like, no, I need all two full months.
Okay. Laura is distracting me in our group chat. Girl, stop texting us.
That's why like I do not disturb it, because I'm like, oh yeah, I can shift attention, but I can never split it. Though people say that's the whole thing about split attention, is you are never doing two things simultaneously. You've always picked one.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me grab some of these people who have channels. Nina has, we love vlogs. Mm-hmm. Vlogs are the best. Also, Laura Nettles. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of Lauras. I was just like, Laura. Melissa's going to have one soon.
Yeah, easier to have some videos in the pipeline.
Megan also has a channel. Anna. So, yep. Make sure we're following everybody. Mm-hmm. And Elaine also. Okay. Some of you guys, I'm like, I don't know if I'm subscribed to you or not, so I'm gonna have to go through this and
go through after.
Look everybody up too. Yeah. Okay, so mostly vlogs and live streams. Live streams are low key the best. Okay, so I think that was everybody, but I was also like half reading the comments because things are coming in kind of hot. So if I missed you, just repeat it and I'll make sure to feature you. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of people saying that they are revising for camp. Yeah. I don't know. I had big plans for this month, and I always feel like when I like set out to have really big plans, I don't do as well, because I also did that for NaNoWriMo in November, and November was just absolutely terrible for me. But
Yeah.
also I started querying in November. So that was a whole other can of worms.
I always alternate. So like whatever nano I do, like if I've succeeded at the last nano, I will fail at the nano I'm doing at that time. And so November nano just tanked because I like lost passion for the project, and then I was on submission, and then things happened faster than I expected them to, and then I was just like in a cube of panic and stress. And then everything fell apart. So this nano is going great and perfect because that is the pattern I have maintained since like 2016.
Mm-hmm. Naomi says she wants to turn her booktube into an author tube. Listen, that's what I did. I joined YouTube as a booktuber, and I slowly started transitioning into more writing content. So now I think people consider me more an author tuber, but I'm also pretty sure I'm also still considered a booktuber. But the good thing about AuthorTube and BookTube is that there's a lot of cross content, so you could pretty much still be both.
Yeah.
And Jessie's here. Jessie just had a cover reveal for her new book, These Wicked Delights. If anybody wants to check that out, they should.
I'm wondering if I saw that. I feel like I must have on Instagram.
Yeah, I saw it on Instagram too. Also, I just like really love Instagram more than Twitter. I'm like trying to like step back more and more from Twitter just because it's just so much all the time.
Yeah.
And
Twitter's basically just become like an updates, and I do DMs in it for me, but I don't like call it an update account because like sometimes I want to tweet something that I think is funny and nobody cares. Universally every time.
I've noticed that. I feel like maybe because I haven't really been using Twitter as much, so I feel like Twitter doesn't like me, like the algorithm doesn't like me as much. So like if I ever tweet something that's like, oh, this is good, no one ever like interacts with it, and I'm like, probably should delete this tweet now.
My like book update stuff like is like good, people interact with it, but then I'll like post and I'll be like, so excited for the Chaos Walking movie, nobody cares. Go away.
I got another ad on Instagram ad about Chaos Walking, so I'm like, they must be gearing up to like release it more widely for like the renting purposes.
They don't show me anything. I feel like they're just doing it US, and I heard something about UK. I just like, I want to watch it so badly. Back in like ages ago, it feels like I reread the whole first book in anticipation. I bought the box set of all 3 books, and then they were like, haha, no, not in Canada.
That doesn't make sense to me because I feel like they marketed and released this movie so weirdly to like they were setting themselves up for failure.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
I'm so confused about how they've messed this up. And I feel for Patrick Ness. I was like, your poor masterpiece.
Oh, yes, that would suck.
But it's a very good book series. So if you haven't read the Chaos Walking book series, it's a very good book series.
See, I know I had the first book at one time, and I was looking at my bookshelf, so I'm like, I know I have it here somewhere. And then I remembered that I gave it to my ex because he said he wanted to read it. And I'm like, sure, have this. Because it wasn't even like, I didn't even buy it. It was like gifted to me. So I'm like, I don't care. Here. And now I never got it back. So I was literally on my couch remembering that that's what happened to it. And I got like so mad. I was like, oh, now I'm pissed.
Now it's gone. So good. Except if you get sad about animal death, then like maybe.
Oh, I was not expecting that in the movie. When that happened, I was like, what the fuck? Like, kill all the humans you want. I don't care. Kill the women. Like, no, do not kill the dog.
Traumatized for years.
Okay. Oh, soon to be author tuber.
Ah. Get more
And
people joining.
yep. So we're at a healthy 74. So I guess we should start sprinting soon. Do we have any yep, see, you can't kill animals and you can't kill CGI anything. I cried when like Transformers died because I was sad.
More sad than the humans.
Or like I recently watched Godzilla and Kong. Like I was rewatching that whole franchise, and like Godzilla, I was fine with because I'm like, that's just like, and I'm not into Godzilla, but like I'm super into Kong, and like he's just like a giant ape, and I just feel so bad for him when he like his facial expressions. They totally pull you in. Those animators do.
It's terrible. That's why any like a little sidekick thing, I'm like, I can't handle it. I just don't want to be involved if something is going to happen to it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so, oh, yep. I asked my group chat if anybody wanted to join me, and Lizelle was the only one that took me up on this.
Yeah. I was like, I'm home doing nothing. We're in Ontario's in extra lockdown now, extra extreme lockdown, because we failed everything. It's embarrassing, but whatever. So yeah, I'm home. I have nothing going on.
I guess I don't really know what like COVID is in like Canada. Like, do you guys wear masks everywhere? Are you allowed to like go shopping or with masks
Not
on and stuff?
anymore.
So like when you guys lock down, you really lock down because I feel like when the US has locked down, we've
This is the problem.
locked down.
We have been doing lockdowns, and now things are extra, extra bad, and we have our vaccine rollout is terrible. And so now they've gone into panic, and now they've truly locked down. So you're not supposed to be outside at all. Extra if you're in Toronto. I'm not in Toronto anymore, but like, yeah, now they're like, don't go anywhere, pretty please. And it's like, too little, too late, man. Like,
Yeah, we were terrible with like, especially in like my state, Iowa. I feel like when your governor is a Republican, it was just like not good here. They just let anybody do whatever they wanted. And I mean, I stayed mostly inside, but there was like very little mask mandates here. And it was awful because then there's the people that are like, well, I don't need the mask on. Just wear the mask.
Yeah. You were wearing the mask, but then they were like, you can go to a restaurant and like chill and drink wine and hang out with people. And like, you can do all of this stuff. And like, we can't pay you to stay home. No, never. So you must go and continue to work. And then they were like, oops, maybe that was wrong. Yeah. Laura Nettles is saying you're allowed out for exercise and groceries. I thought you weren't allowed out for exercise because they were talking about giving people tickets and stuff for going outside, but I guess you can. Maybe in Toronto because they're like, we feel sad for you. But yeah, groceries and like curbside pickup you can do. But yeah, the vaccine rollout, like general public's not getting it until July. And I don't even know if I fully believe them on that.
I only have one more vaccine, May 1st.
Yeah, it's not a thing that will be occurring here. They're not even doing essential workers. They're still on doing like the elderly and like indigenous populations. So they haven't even gotten further than that. But eventually, before the end of the year, that's something.
Oh, Julia's here. Julia is actually one of my critique partners. She read The Serpent Court in like one of the earliest drafts when it was absolutely terrible.
Well, now it's better, so that's okay.
Yeah, Laura, we know you're so lucky you got fully vaccinated.
Yes. still wear a mask, and that's
Oh,
true.
also,
That's
Laura,
great.
you've been like texting in the group chat. Did you have any side effects? Because I feel like you've been like pretty active in the group chat. So it's like, did you get sick? I'm
Because
curious.
one of the Pfizer.
Yeah.
I know people with Moderna have seemed to like gotten sick for a little bit, and I don't know what's happening with Johnson and Johnson. That's its own thing. And of course, we bought a bunch of Johnson and Johnson. I'm so embarrassing right now.
When the thing came out about the blood clots, I'm like, I'm really glad that I didn't get Johnson & Johnson.
I was like, how are they stopping doing Johnson and Johnson? And we bought a bunch for you guys, and I'm like, no, you're not helping us.
Also, like, unrealistically, I was kind of like, oh, I want the 2-shot one because 2-shot is like double the protection. Even though I know that's not how it works, but I was still like, I want a double shot.
Yeah. Oh god. Laura's, yeah, non-terrible postal code. Yeah, I'm out in the boonies there, Laura Nettles, and I'm also not until July, if even. We'll see. Oh, birth control has more blood clots than J&J.
This is
Well, there
very
you go.
true.
Yeah, AstraZeneca. They, in Canada, they're giving it to certain people. I think they said younger people were having a bad reaction to it, but older people weren't. So older people can still get it, but younger people maybe, I don't know. But they did do a pop-up like vaccine thing in Toronto because my best friend was like, they did a pop-up thing and I went and I got a shot. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, awesome. I'm like, you go and do it. Yeah. I think because Toronto is more grim, so they're trying to do more stuff.
Yeah, my mom's a teacher, so she got Pfizer, and she also, her second dose, she had like a fever and chills the next day. So that's what I'm expecting to happen.
Yeah.
But
That's like the flu shot, right? Like you get a little bit sick and then you're okay. And it continues to be better than getting COVID. So
yeah. Well,
wow.
Laura had a good.
Laura over here.
The queen of vaccines. Okay, so what is everybody thinking for our first sprint? What would we like to do for minute wise? You guys, I haven't written since like last Sunday, so that's how bad it's been. But the good news was that my agent emailed me on Wednesday with the final approvals for the Serpent Court. So I had to spend the next couple days doing that, and then I sent it back to her. So had to take a quick pause in drafting.
That's legitimate. That's a very good reason to take a quick pause in drafting.
I have a question for you. When you have to do like your final track changes and like the line edits, do you read through the entire book again, or are you just going to like those where the comments are?
I just going to where the comments are.
Like, that's what I
right before sub. I'm like, I don't know. Let me do your little changes.
Because that's what I was like wondering. So I was sitting here like, do I have to read it again? Because first I was like, do I have to read it again?
No.
As much as like I would want to, but I'm like, I've like read this book so much now.
Yeah. When it's changes, I'm like, boom, boom, boom. Okay, we're done. And my doesn't do that many to begin with. Like she's not really like a track changes line edits sort of agent. So it's like it'll be like 2 comments. And it'll be like, let's fix this line. It sounds awkward. And then let's fix this line. Okay, now we're good to go. And I'm like, yes.
My agent like actually like gave me actual line suggestions. She's like, what if you said this instead? And she wrote it out. And she's like, but feel free to like reject it. I'm like, nope, that sentence sounds amazing. Click.
Yeah, that's legitimate. My editor will do that. Be like, yep, I like your idea. In it goes.
I'm like, ooh, I wish I would have wrote it that way. But yes, you heard it here first on the stream. I'm supposed to go on sub either Monday or Tuesday, depending on how all the chips fall with getting all that stuff figured out. So,
so exciting.
yeah. Group manifestation. Let's all manifest this book deal.
Manifest for the quickest and most painless experience possible.
Okay, I saw 20. Should we just go full force with 20?
You should probably do 20.
Okay, so are we thinking a Lizelle timer or are we thinking a Camille timer? Because you guys are the only ones that I have open.
I'm fine with either one. Let's do a Camille timer.
Okay. Let me
so then
sure.
I won't feel too self-involved.
Okay. Share screen. Let's do a Chrome tab. Timers.
There.
Okay. 20-minute, we said.
Yeah.
I feel like last time we did, yeah, you can see the ones that we watched from last time still. So let's do one of the, okay, I'm not feeling Christmas, so we're not going to do the Christmas one. Let's do the flowers.
I'm down with that.
Okay, I gave her, oh, it's only a 5-second ad anyway. Oh, it's a two-parter.
Oh, there's two. The two-parter.
Oh, okay. I didn't even have to skip anything, so she still got the coin. Okay, so everyone is ready. Let me make this bigger. Okay, and 3, 2, 1. Okay, sprint's over. I never know how to end those.
Yeah.
But
I know sometimes people will like turn on the sound just before, but I don't know if that one has a sound.
oh yeah, I don't know either. I had it muted.
I put like bird chirps at the end of mine, which is like otherwise silent, but I don't think people always realize that. So I don't know that it helps.
Okay, so how did everyone do? I did 306. So, yep.
Good. I did 974, but I'm like that.
Yeah. I had to start a new chapter, and I always feel like it's hard when you're starting a new chapter to like get back into when it's like a separate when it's a separate scene from the one before. So
yeah, exactly. I had to I just like have things plotted so meticulously, so then I like look at it and I'm like, okay, this is what I have to get into this chapter, and then I just like go. But yeah, I can already tell this chapter is too long, but it's okay. My last chapter was too short, so I'm gonna say it's like, yeah, the dingling is great.
yeah, but I feel like we can't infringe on Laura's dingling. Like I feel like that's dingling copyrighted.
Yeah. You would have had to use Laura's timer to get the authentic dingling.
I noticed that Aaron did not put your timers in a playlist. I checked right before we went live.
Oh
That's
no,
okay. You can always fix terrible words.
It's true.
Hello, Diane. Thanks for stopping by. 157. Pretty good.
Activity.
The chat jumped. Okay. Story timeline. That's good.
That is good.
410, 250, 508. Blog promo and shit. 143. Social media. Yeah, we've all been there. Yeah. Editing chapters. Oh, I'm going on sub at the end of April. Amazing. Yeah. You and me both, girl.
So excited. I'm always so excited when people go on sub. I'm like, yay.
But
I know it dwindles after time. One of my agent siblings was like, I hate this. And I was like, yeah. Fair.
421. I didn't finish editing freelance. Congrats. I'm starting a second chapter. Yeah, I'm
fair.
Yeah. 9323. Instagram. That's my new dark black hole. I just fall down and never get up, and then watch everybody's stories.
Yeah, the stories are really where you can go on forever. With the new timeline now, they're like, that's all the new posts. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I'll stop. But like once you get into stories, it's like, nope.
Lots of editing people are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask, is the quality of language good in your first draft? Filter words, telling, not showing, or do we reserve that for editing?
Mine is terrible.
Yeah. I do a lot of filtering sometimes. Yeah, I mean, there's sometimes when I'm like writing where I'm like, I know this is a really badly constructed sentence, but I just move on.
Yeah, I'm not looking for like great quality language. Sometimes I'll get in like a gem or something like that, but I'm basically just like getting all of my plot stuff that I said I was going to do down, and then I'll like make it prettier later. And I like purposely do showing because I'm like, I don't have time to figure out how I want to say she's mad. And so I'll write She's mad, or I'll use a really cheesy one, like I gripped my shaking fist or something like that.
I also have crutch words. I use gaze so much.
Gaze is like the word that you learn, and you're like, wow, this is the one. This is the greatest word. You can never see anything. You must always gaze.
Gaze.
Yeah. Mine is twist. I'm really bad at twist. Like people's faces twisting and their lips twisting and their bodies twisting and
Yeah, gaze, eyes. I have like super fixation on the way people look at things.
I feel like that makes sense. If you have like a good chunk of like romance in your book, you'll end up doing a lot of looking and staring and gazing and
mm-hmm. I need to come up with more words for gaze though.
Yeah, stare. That's kind of it. And
Yeah,
it doesn't
glance.
have, yeah.
Yeah.
Gaze has an extra intensity.
Yeah. Or even just eyes in general.
Yeah, that too. I got nicked on that. My editor was like, so we've described him having blue-gray eyes pretty much every time he appears on page. And I was like, cool, cool, cool. My feelings are hurt. I'll move on.
That's what happens to me too. Well, Marina's from My Name is Marina. She read my book and she's like, girl, I know he has green eyes. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it was a lot. I was like, dang, okay, calm down.
Oh, that's a good one too. Their heart raced.
Yeah. This is why the emotion thesaurus is really useful, because you just go back and find all the things you did like that. And you're like, okay, so they're anxious in this scene. And then it'll like list like 20 different ways that you can describe someone being anxious, and you can pick one that you haven't already used a million times.
I need to get that book. That's a book, right? Because I know there's also a website too. But the website you kind of have to pay for.
Yeah, I don't know about the website, but I got the book and I got it on Kindle, and I just like jump around through the table of contents. But it's just so much better than relying on me. And that's why I'll do stuff in my first draft where I'll be like, she was angry, because I know I'll just like go in the emotion thesaurus and I'll think of a proper way. Like I'll look up a proper way to express that, and then I'll put it in. But when I'm like trying to crank out as many words as quickly as possible within the constraints of what I've plotted, I'm like, I don't have time.
Yeah, I need to get that. Every time that I'm like, I need to get that book, I always forget to get that book. Yeah, same. I have this one too. I just did that in the chapter I'm writing. I'm like, she keeps looking back, and it needs her to not.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. This is why first drafts are like not it. Second drafts, third drafts, every draft after is much better. When I look back at first drafts, I'm like, wow, you might be bad at this. But then I fix it later and I'm like, okay, don't worry about it.
So we got a question here. How many revisions did you go through before sending to CPs or betas before becoming agented? The self-edits are never ending.
I only do one self-edit before I send it to people. Because I just do like a very thorough self-edit and read through, and then I'm like, okay, off to beta readers and CPs.
Yeah, well, see, I have one CP where I just send her my first draft. So it's like, it's bad.
Yeah.
But she like knows like what I'm capable of. so she like can ignore that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like if I did it any other time, it's always I just self edit it once to make it at least readable for someone else. But like I really think that you should have someone else read it as soon as you can, because when you keep self editing by yourself before you let anybody else see it, like you get kind of stuck in
Yeah.
kind of what you're seeing, and that's the only thing you're seeing, and you'll be less open to change, I feel like, because when after critique partners read it, that's when like the real change starts to happen with revision.
Yeah, you can't get caught in self-editing forever, which is why I just do like my one self-edit, but I do it, I don't like to send it to people until I'm sure that I've fixed everything that I can see is wrong with it. Because I think I did it before where I sent it to someone and I knew X part was wrong with it. And then I just got a comment from everyone being like, ah, this part. And I was like, I already know, I already know. And so I wished I had just fixed it before I sent it to them. So when I send it to CPs, I try and have everything I think is wrong with it fixed. And then, I'll send it to them, except for my cheats. I always cheat on romance because I'll like leave out things that I know I should write because I'm embarrassed and I'll be like, whatever.
Dude, I'm so embarrassed to write like the spicy scenes.
I don't even have spicy scenes. I just get embarrassed to write. For my sequel, I was like, oh, they should have like go to a party, and I was like, they should have a scene where they like dance together because that would be cute. And then I got too embarrassed and I edited and sent it off to my editor. I was like, I'll be not embarrassed by the time I come back to this, and then I can do it.
Oh, see that I can do, but like, see, I'm really embarrassed when they like they have to like make outs or like hooking up. I'm like, oh, someone's gonna read this, or like knowing someone else is reading it. I'm just like really embarrassed.
Yeah, it's a lot. I don't know how like erotica writers have an extra strength, romance writers extra strength, because I could never send it to someone.
How many words do you aim for per chapter?
Depends on the final word count. So for this adult horror that I'm working on, I'm aiming for 50,000 words. So I'm making sure each chapter is like 1,500 around. And usually when I do my fantasy, they're 100,000 words. So I aim for 2,000 word chapters, but I suck at it. You'll see if you read my debut, some chapters are 4,000 words, some chapters are 3,000 words. Are any chapters 2,000 words? Nope.
I think for me, mine's usually like between 1,500 and 3,000. And then like kind of like big scenes end up being like in the 4,000s. But I feel like I only have like maybe 2 chapters that are like over 4,000. And then the rest are somewhere between the 1,500 and 3,000.
Yeah, that seems normal to me.
Do you let anybody read? I do.
I do not. No one. No one sees. No one needs to see.
Almost 50% through my second draft and seeing the progress improvements. Yeah, I love that feeling too.
Yeah. That's fantastic. That's when you can regain the confidence that you maybe lost when you started to read through the first draft and you're like,
Yeah, I mean, just thinking of the first draft of the Serpent Court makes me cringe, even though my CP did read it. It was like really problematic. I had to do a lot of fixing.
Yeah. So many things happen in a first draft, and it's just like, it's okay. It changes. It gets better.
How long did it take to finish your book?
It depends. Usually, I draft all of my books in 1 to 2 months because I'm like that. But then I'll spend like a very long time revising. Blood Like Magic, I revised on my own for like nearly a year, and then I revised it for a month with like a freelance editor that I had won through a contest. I didn't pay anyone. And then me and my agent revised it for 6 months. And then it was just, I don't know, I guess like another like 6 months of editing with my editor and then it's done. So it's like could take several years to finish, even though I draft stuff super fast.
Mm-hmm. I wish I could draft fast. I'm still trying to draft low, like not like have super long first drafts. So I'm
Yeah,
hoping that that's the case with this one, so I can say I've done it now twice instead of just once.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, Alexa has made an appearance. Oh, chat jumped again. Okay. How many drafts did you do before sending to agents? I sent the 6th draft of the Serpent Court
I,
to.
yeah. I truly cannot remember. Maybe like I must have done like 4 to 5, something like that. But I have no idea.
Yep, mine did too. And I'm like, okay, I can do it, but like I'm embarrassed to do it.
Amazing.
uh, I mean, I feel like I read so much erotic fan fiction when I was younger, so
Yeah,
we've all been there. I also think this. My parents do want to read it, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to send it to you.
I feel safe because no one in my family like actually reads. And so even though they say they're gonna read it, I know in my heart they definitely won't. So I'm just like off the hook.
See, my stepmom and my dad definitely would read it because my stepmom, she reads like a lot of the same books I do. So like she'll come, she watches my channel to get recs for like romance and for YA. So like I
Yeah.
know she'd read it if I sent it to her, and I almost like just don't want to send it to her because I know you'll read it.
Oh God. Yeah, that's hard.
Oh, I wish I could relate. My Nana does not read smut.
I think my grandma has a bunch of Daniel Steele books, and I don't know what's in them. So she might.
um, I know like I feel like the advice is like as long as you think it feels that you should. I don't know, like it's sometimes hard. I've gone in like 2 weeks after a first draft. I've gone in a month or longer, even sometimes. It just depends with what I'm working on
Yeah, it
after.
depends
Yeah.
how much time I have. Like for this horror, I blocked out like a 2 week break, but I don't know. I'll probably make that 3 weeks now because I'm going to be doing sequel edits at the same time. And if I don't block out a week, I'll be writing continuously until my debut, and I don't want to. Yeah, a couple weeks to a month is great.
Final word count when you queried. I queried 95,000 words, I think. That's what mine was.
Yeah, I think I had like 96,000. That seems right about that.
Mm-hmm. And then we're going to go on sub with it being 99,000 words.
Yeah, I
So.
think that's pretty much what we did also. And now it's like 140,000 words. And I'm like,
Because when we were like on the phone with each other, we were talking about the revision. She didn't say anything about the word count, so I was kind of like revising it, being like, I feel like I can go a little bit higher now because she didn't say that I can't.
yeah,
So my goal was to keep it under 100,000 though, so I was able to do that.
that's fair. I've just like, I've gone buck wild because I know my editor likes a long book. And so when we went on sub with my horror, it was like 120,000 words. But me and my agent were like, we think this is necessary though, and we know that she loves a long book. So here you go.
um, oh, whoops, hold on a second.
Oh.
Yes, it's a fantasy romance inspired by the Italian Renaissance, so it's basically fantasy Italy. Okay, so are we thinking about doing another sprint?
Yeah, that sounds good. Oh, Daniel Steelbooks are peeps with issues, not smutty. So my grandma's not reading smutty books. Just rich people with issues, which honestly, that tracks for her. We're not rich people. But I see her like being invested in that.
Okay, so time wise, how long would you guys like to sprint for? You know, I can't decide because I am a Libra. So if I can shove off the choosing to someone else, I will.
Amazing.
Okay, Violet said 25. So that is what we're doing. I think you have a 25-minute timer. Or no, you don't.
No, I don't. I think I have a 30-minute one. No, I didn't do a 30-minute one because I don't usually do long sprints. And so I did 10 and 15 and 20.
Okay, let me share this again. Take a second because I'm still not used to this as well. Okay, so 25. I know she has a 25-minute one somewhere. Okay, the cozy autumn one, but let's see if there's another. Halloween. I guess we'll just do this one.
That works.
Oh, the Oscars are coming up. I'm just like not as enthused as I usually am.
I have premium, so I never see the ads. So I'm always like, yeah, this is what people get.
Sometimes they like cater it to more of like where you live. So sometimes
Yeah.
I'll get ads that like definitely only someone in Iowa would get, but at least we're no longer getting political ads.
Yeah.
Everything leading up to the election was absolutely terrible. I hated
That seems
all of those.
terrible.
Yeah, we know, Laura, you have YouTube Premium. I just don't want to pay for something else. I already I feel like I pay for too much when it comes to like other streaming services where I'm just like, I'll sit through the ads on YouTube because I'm not paying for it.
That's fair. In like Ontario, you can write off your entertainment stuff. So I write off you can write off half of all your like subscriptions and stuff. So this is my accountant. I'm not giving accounting advice. My boyfriend is a lawyer and he's always like, make sure you say this is not your advice. You're just saying what your accountant told you. So that I'm like, oh, whatever, I'll sign up.
Okay, here we go. 25 minutes, everyone. Good luck. Okay, sprint is over. So, how did everybody do? I have to do math to figure it out for me.
I started doing math, but then I forgot what my previous word count was. So it was like 800-ish. And then I finished the chapter I was on. And so now I'm working on getting my sequel edit stuff organized.
I wrote 376, but I will say the first 8 minutes I was on Instagram.
Fair. I was on there briefly.
It's great. I want to try to get to 1,000 today.
That would be good.
Yeah. 100 words. $384. Oh, oops, just jumped. 827. That's amazing. 153. Yeah, I feel that. It's hard to like figure out what you can actually do in 25 minutes with editing, but
yeah, I just never count word count when I'm editing.
yeah,
So I'm like,
same.
I don't know. It's probably like 50.
You're welcome. I'm glad we're able to do this. 552. Grabbed a snack. You guys, I ate like an hour before this live stream because you guys all had me so hungry last week that I caved and ordered Mexican after the live stream. So I'm like, eat lunch now, and so then you won't get hungry during the stream.
That's good. That's a good strategy.
Yeah, I mean, afternoons are great for naps.
Yeah, the late afternoon especially.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every time someone has a stream, I'm like, yay, I don't have to motivate myself.
Yeah. And there's so much more streams now, I feel like, than before.
Yeah, because of Camp Nano. Like now I have like a backlog of live streams to replay. So I'm like, okay, then tomorrow I'll have something to watch and like all of that, which is nice. Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Goodreads is like that too.
Mm-hmm.
I only go on there to like look up books and stuff, but then I'll be like, what does this person write? And oh, have they written more books? And what are these other books? And like all of that stuff.
Okay, I was just thinking about how one of my favorite tropes that I didn't mention in the last stream when we were talking tropes was that I love when the love interest is the only one that calls the other character by a certain name, because I was thinking of like one of my favorite shows is Good Girls, which is on NBC, at least in the US it is. But if you haven't seen Good Girls, you should, because even like the writing is amazing. They do tension and pacing and stakes so well in that show. But anyway, so like the love, I guess, I don't know, I don't even want to call him a love interest because he's bad, but he but he calls the main character by her full name because everybody else on the show calls her Beth, but he's the only one that calls her Elizabeth, and every time he says it, I like I get a contact high.
Is that the one about the robberies?
Yeah, like they're three moms, and then they're all like down on their luck, and they have to figure something out. and like
Yeah.
get money and stuff. So they rob a grocery store and then they get into like all this crime stuff over the seasons. It's such a good show.
Yeah. Yeah. I've
Yep.
seen it's on Netflix in Canada.
Yeah. Rio, that is his name. We love Rio. And the greatest thing about this was that, like, because I've been watching the show since it first premiered, like after the first season premiered, I started watching it, and the writers deliver to the fans. They realized that everybody was getting really over the top about Rio, so they're like, okay, guys, listen, we're gonna
Yeah.
give you so much Rio now. So they did.
That's so interesting. And that's the thing about like TV writing, right? They can like observe what people are liking and like put it into the book and stuff. Sorry, not the book, the show. But like with books, like by the time you've already finished the sequel, by the time enough people have read the first book. So it's like, oh, sorry if you like that person.
Yeah. That's amazing, Elaine. I've seen him in a couple other things since Good Girls, and I was like, it's Rio, because like that's all I know him as now. But he's amazing. He plays that character so well. He has like this undeniable swagger that just fits the character, and it's amazing.
So good.
I mean, he's the bad guy. He's the only one that calls her by her full name.
Yeah. I feel like that's what I like. I like when the villain has like a special name.
Yeah.
It's not romantic, it just feels extra ominous.
Yeah. That's amazing. I've seen the Hunger Games is one series I wish I could read for the first time again, because that was so good.
Yeah, that would be really good. Maybe maybe up until just the first two over and over again. The third one, things were sad, and I was sad.
The third one was sad.
But those first two, golden.
Yes, if you guys live in the US, Good Girls is on Netflix, and it is also in Hulu as well. And I'm sure it's probably also on Peacock if you have that, because it's an NBC show. Yes, just the way he says Elizabeth. People who've watched it, you get it. It is a fantasy country based on Italy. That's what this report is.
Yeah, makes sense. So high fantasy.
Yeah, with no magic. See, the book that I'm writing, or the work in progress I'm working for camp right now, has magic. So it's like I had to like reintroduce myself to like stakes and the cost of magic, and like making sure the magic system makes sense. Because like I wrote the Serpent Core because I'm like, no magic. I'm just gonna not have to deal with any of that.
Yeah. Which is fun. That's like a refreshing thing to have, like a high fantasy that doesn't actually have magic.
Is it The Young Elites? I didn't realize that book was based on Italy. I read the first book. I have all of them. I have all three.
Yeah. I've never read them.
I liked the first one. I think I actually read the first one twice, because then I was like, well, I gotta reread it before the second book comes out, and then I just never read the second book.
Amazing.
Chat skipped. I've never watched Dairy Girls, but I know a lot of people love that show.
Amazing. It's so funny. It's super funny. I watched almost all of it when I was going on my work trip to Thailand, which is funny because the horror I'm writing about is partially based there and on that. Just on the setting stuff. And I watched like all of it on the 24-hour plane ride. And it was so good. And I just like laughed by myself in my seat, super close to two strangers.
Yep. It's just a lot of religion. Yeah. I remember I really liked the first one, but I just never read the rest of them.
Oh. I didn't realize it was a villain origin story. I should read that.
The main character, yeah, she's a villain.
Yeah.
And I really liked that, like the way she set up the world, because it's like if you end up getting a power that's like like I don't want to say evil, but it's like people hunt you and like try to
Evil.
kill you. Yeah. So
No. So that you
and
can't
you
use your evil power.
yeah, and then you have like some physical mark that indicates that you have a power.
Is there a
From what
school?
I remember. I don't know. I don't think there's a school. I think she like joins like a guild, like a
Oh,
other
okay.
like another like yeah, of
Yeah.
people who also have powers and
Oh,
they
okay.
try to do stuff. It's also multi POV, right? People? I know like the girl, the main character, she's like the central POV, but there's other POVs in the book from what I remember.
Hmm.
What Laura said. Yes. Because it's
Uh,
based on the Borgias, and the Borgias were in power during the Italian Renaissance.
huh. I don't know why I thought it had a school. It's probably just because the title is The Young Elites, and then I was like,
Mm.
that seems like it would have some sort of elite school. This is the thing that we talked about before about how people can make assumptions and
Okay, well,
misread books.
here's one. Here's the one about the Hunger Games. When I first saw the title The Hunger Games, I thought it had to do with eating disorders. So I'm like, I don't want to read that. So I never did. And it wasn't until like the movie came out that I was like, this does not have to do with eating disorders.
Honestly, I feel like the covers worked against it because the covers really
Yeah.
only make sense when you've read the book, and otherwise they give no indication of what is occurring in that book.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which is why I hadn't read it for so long. I finally read it because I had just seen it in the bookstore enough times that I was like, I guess this is important. I figure I'll read it. And then I read the whole first book in one day and I was like, oh, now I gotta go back to the bookstore.
Yeah, exactly. Like the first book, when did that come out? Because it came out like I feel like around the Twilight books, because the Twilight books came out when I was in high school because I read those, but I
Yeah.
never read the Hunger Games until I was in college because
Yes.
I
Same.
took this class called Reading and Writing Young Adult Fiction, and
Hmm.
that was one of the books that we're reading. And at the time, I had already seen the movie, so I had already seen the movie and I really liked it.
Yeah.
So then I ended up reading the book for the class before we even were supposed to read the book for class, because I'm like, I'm just going to read this because I remember I really liked the movie.
Yeah.
And then I was hooked.
I read it when I was 19, and I remember because like of the apartment I was living in, and I got put in the basement room, and I was like very PO'd about being in the basement room of the house.
Yeah, like I love like those books that you totally remember like where you were, like
Yeah.
where what point it, because I was like living in a sorority house when I read the Hunger Games. I was alone in my room just reading them, and I was about halfway through the Hunger Games when I was like, oh, I'm gonna need the rest of those books. So I had to
Yeah.
order them on Amazon because I didn't have a car. And I was like, I have no way to get this unless Amazon delivers it.
I didn't even know about Amazon at that point. I had to like take a bus for 45 minutes to get to the Indigo, and I just bought the one book, and then I finished it, and I was like, oh. And I had to get back on the bus for 45 minutes to go to the Indigo. And then I just bought the next two books, and I was like, I'm never making this mistake again.
Because that second book I think is probably in my top 5 favorite books of all time. Like,
Yeah.
the second book was so good.
Okay. I analyzed because when I was writing my sequel, I was looking at all the sequels I had read and that I had liked and why I'd liked them. And the common thread that I realized with sequels I like is I want them to stay in the exact same world that they established, but slightly different. And so the Hunger Games, because they went back to the Hunger Games, I was like so happy, ecstatic. And that was it. And like the Maze Runner, before we realized James Dashner was gross and problematic, it was the same thing. It was just another version of the same maze from the first book. And I was like, yeah, that's me. I like more of the same.
Yeah, I never read those books either, but I watched all the movies.
Oh, No, I was on a kick. Once I had read The Hunger Games, I was like, well, what else am I missing out on?
Yeah, I see. I read Divergent after the Hunger Games because then I was like, gotta read Divergent now.
Also, I see Laura says cat piss for the win, and yes, I agree. Cat piss forever.
Yes.
I can't think of that many though. The only one I can think of is Julie C. Dow's Forest of a Thousand Lanterns, which was like the semi Snow White.
Mm-hmm. The Evil Queen.
Yeah, the Evil Queen, and that one was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't think of anything else.
The for the young elites, it's the superhero, yeah.
Yeah.
And multiple yeah, I do kind of remember that now that I'm thinking of that.
Do people hate that?
I don't know. I remember like I think he was like the antagonist. He was a soldier. He was my favorite point of view. Of course, Lainey likes the bad boy. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, I mean, I miss the golden age of YA so bad. I say this as a YA writer. But yeah, like even like the movies, like The Hunger Games, Divergent, Twilight, those were like so good. For the most part.
Together, or like they didn't come out together because like all the books were already out by the time the movie came out, but I really liked that about it. And I like see like lots of books, like newer books getting optioned, but then I guess now I'm paying too much attention, so it feels so slow for anything to happen, and I just want the movie to come and blow up, and then I like can be obsessed, which is probably Shadow and Bone, the closest I'm getting at this point.
But even like that, because that, at least with that one, is like on Netflix, like the big movies. Because like the last time I went to like a midnight premiere was for the Hunger Games. I haven't like had that since the Hunger Games came out.
Yeah, I just do that with the Marvel movies. I don't go to midnight releases because I'm an old person. But
well, yeah, they don't even do midnight releases now. They have them like 8 p.m. the night before they come out, and I'm like, come on. The first Hunger Games came out in 2008. Why did I think it came out earlier than that? Because 2008 was when the first Twilight movie came out, right?
I don't know. 2008, I was still in high school.
Same. If it was 2008, I was a junior. I think I was a junior. So
are we the same age?
29. When did you graduate high school?
Yeah, 2009. I'm turning 30 this year, though.
I graduated in 2010.
Oh, okay. But yeah. Oh, right, because I have a late birthday, so my thing is skewed. Of like dates and stuff.
Oh yeah, because like school start. Because I could have gone the year, but my mom was like, "Nah, let's just." So then, because I'm an October birthday.
Oh yeah. Oh.
I could talk about Daenerys going bad for hours.
That's a separate thing. I think that was the last like fervor thing that I had, where like watch the new episode as soon as it came out, and then you come into work, and then because my workplace is a millennial workplace, so it was like everyone was not doing work and just talking. You had to watch because otherwise you would just get spoiled.
Right. I miss the feeling that Game of Thrones gave me. Yeah.
I'm putting all of my hopes for that on Shadow and Bone.
Are they releasing all the episodes at the same time?
No. I really hope they are, because I mean,
I took off the 23rd.
Plus, yes, come back every week. I don't want to.
Because I took off the 23rd with the expectation that I'm just binging the whole thing in one go.
Yeah, I think that's what we all want.
Yeah. I'm also hyped for the Black Widow movie. I'm actually considering, I'm like, am I going to pay $20 for this one? I think I am.
I will not, but I just like don't like Scarlett Johansson, so that was
See,
never
she's
for
like
me.
one of the only people I can be like, that's not Scarlett Johansson, that's Black Widow. But also like Rachel Weisz is in it. I love her. I love Florence Pugh.
Yeah,
So like, it's
I will watch it. I
yeah. There's other things in there that I'm like excited about.
in the first thing.
See, there's something like so I love going to like the same thing with like the Hunger Games. When you go to like the very first premiere that they have available, you're watching it with like fans,
Mm-hmm.
and it's such a better experience to like experience it with people that get it. Because
Yeah.
I mean, for Catching Fire, like I saw it the night it came out, and then I also saw it a few weeks later when I went with my parents because it came out always during Thanksgiving for us.
Yeah.
And like the experience is so much different when you're just watching it with people who are just watching the movie.
Yeah.
It's not as fun.
I was glad that we went to see like Black Panther like pretty early on because we could still get like a hyped crowd.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun.
Yeah, see, I saw Endgame. I went by myself because no one wanted to go with me.
Yeah.
And
They
I
also
went
went
like I went the day after it came out, and like still like the crowd wasn't like what I was expecting. I was expecting a little bit more excitement.
They were probably tired, man. Like after that, they were like, I'm so tired. Just let this be done.
I feel like okay.
Oh my
I
god.
mean, but will the actors come back and do it though? Here's the thing. I'm fine with the way it ended because my number one was always Sansa from the get. And so I don't care how it ended for anybody else because my girl got what she deserved.
I was upset. I was upset about Danny. I was upset about Grey Worm. I was upset about I truly cannot remember her name. The curly haired I was upset about the Danny crew.
Yeah.
I wanted the Danny crew.
See, also Jorah. Jorah's my favorite character, but I expected him to die back in season 7 when they went north for that mission. Yeah. I forget why.
He honestly lasted so much longer.
I know. I'm like, this is the episode he's gonna die. So like I mentally prepared myself. So everything that I got after that, I was like, this is Jorah gravy because I was expecting him to die in season 7.
No, it got to a point I was like, you're here too long now. I was like, you're not the crew anymore.
He was my favorite character. I loved him so much. Yeah, I mean, they screwed over every character except for Sansa, and that's all I cared about was Sansa's ending.
It was just like, and it started so well. Like on that 3rd episode with Arya, I was like on top of the world. I felt like everything was great. Things just like went.
Well, the thing is, like, I'm fine with the Danny going bad scenario. Like, to me, that made sense. And I liked having like all those seasons that can show of her leading up to that moment. But they needed to like stay in that she bad longer than an episode.
Because it was too sharp. But yeah, even like, then, still like, I don't know. I was still like really so like, this is what we're doing. This is what we're happy with. Like hero John is that like that's what we're cool with. Like I think he's hot too, but not that hot.
Oh, the book. I mean, that would make sense.
The book is a separate thing.
Sansa had the best ending.
Yeah. Laura, John is not hot. He is the worst.
I mean, I didn't like John either. I never liked John.
John was like, you know, when you know a character is like shitty and terrible, but you like kind of like them.
Or like you, I feel like John was like, you always knew what he was going to decide to do because like
Yeah.
his character was so, I got to do the right thing. And I'm just like, sometimes you don't have to do the right thing. Or
Yeah.
like, do you like, sometimes like maybe this just shows like who I am as a character, but like when he was like, we have to defeat the White Walkers, I would have been like, do we have to?
Yeah.
Let them do what they want to do.
Boring part of him. I was like, oh my God, again. I was distracted by the curls, though, I admit. I won't pretend.
Yeah, see, this is how I feel like we needed a full season of Danny being bad for that
Yeah.
to have fully worked. Because, like, I liked that scene where, I liked that scene where she destroyed the Red Keep and everything, and, like, she just went nuts. I was like, yes, I'm here for that. Yeah, kill them all. But then, like, we needed more of that because, like, she died the next episode, like, right? Like, that's like how.
I think it would.
Sorry if that's a spoiler, but I feel like spoilers don't exist in the world of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, not anymore. Yeah, that lead up, like Grey Worm, and I'm so upset that I keep forgetting her name. Like they should have like left her and been like, you have gone too far, and now we have to leave you. And then when she's alone, she freaks out and does the whole thing. That would have tracked more for me. And then I would have been happy because they got to get away and were not brutally killed for funsies. This is because we love killing brown people, you know. So yeah, redoing the season. They're trying to do like a Schneider cut. Is essentially what they're doing.
Okay, but like the thing with the Snyder cut was that like Snyder was like excommunicated from his own series. Like
yeah.
They were still like they made all those choices in Game of Thrones intentionally.
First, someone else needs to come in and make it better for them, and they need to be excommunicated from their own series.
I think this would have been better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the ending still would have made me really mad.
It still would have been rushed, but at least it would have been 2 episodes longer rushed. Yeah. I mean, at the time, I was fine with season 8, but now that time has passed, I'm like, yeah, there's some things that probably should have been fixed. But again, I ignored all that because my girl Sansa got the ending she deserved.
You had to. It would have been too cool after all of that. Way too much. Yeah. But yeah, they're trying to do over it. People, now that we've accepted as a society that you can do do-overs, I guess people are more interested. Because we're like, yeah.
I said this in like a recent vlog. I love DC, and then like the fact that they're just like not. It just shows that like the WB, like Warner Brothers, does not know what they're doing with their DC properties. So it's just sad because like also Suicide Squad was terrible, absolutely terrible.
It's so funny because I don't really like DC, and I hated the Snyder Cut. I thought it was just as bad as the other one. But I liked Suicide Squad, and I thought it was fun. And I will watch the next one.
Oh no, Suicide Squad was like just like written really bad. The pacing was really bad too, but like the characters were what made it enjoyable.
Yeah, I had fun.
Like, I liked Will Smith as Yeah, and like I liked Jai Courtney has always been my fave. I loved him as Boomerang. But Cara Delevingne shouldn't have been uh, Enchantress at all. That was a
Wow.
miscast, in my opinion. But
With the hot actress of the time, everybody was putting her in their
yeah,
stuff. Uh,
yeah,
but
yeah. This is what I felt. That yes,
um, I just like, yeah, it wasn't for me. I got so mad when we were watching it. Me and my boyfriend, I was like, why are we at the midpoint and you're still doing setup? Why is that happening? It's like it's
it's just
too
like
late for
I mean,
setup.
I was watching with a friend of mine, and I was just like, "There's definitely a point where he's just said no scenes getting cut. We're putting every scene that was ever filmed in this movie."
I didn't realize when I started watching it the full length of it. I didn't know how long it was. I thought it was a normal movie. And so we were at like I was like, how long have we been watching this? It feels like we've been watching this for 2 hours. And I paused it and it had been exactly 2 hours. I was like, oh my god, this is the midpoint? Oh yeah, it was a lot. And then it was painful because I used to love Ezra Miller and now he's very annoying. So it made me extra sad.
Yeah, I mean they have moments of brilliance. Obviously, the first Wonder Woman, Birds of Prey, amazing. But then they put the first cut of the Justice League out there, and Suicide Squad. But oh yes, I'm also excited for the R. Pat's Batman. Batman is my favorite superhero.
Mm.
Yeah, so I love every Batman movie that's come out.
And it's so funny. I like dislike Batman intensely, but I'll watch them. I don't, though I will say it's good that they were self aware when, in the movie, like Ezra Miller asks him what his superpower is, and he's like, I was like, yes, acknowledgement.
Yeah. Michael Keaton, for anybody that cares to know, is my favorite Batman. It's Michael Keaton.
That's also my boyfriend's favorite Batman. He talks about it all the time.
I just love Michael Keaton too. He's one of my old man crushes.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm interested to see what Arpats does. Because then aren't they already talking about some other Batman? And I was like, I'm confused.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I guess they just really love Batman because they can always like retell the same damn story every time, and people will watch it, including me. But yeah, he's all about the darkness. He's in the dark, of course.
Yeah. I just like, yeah. I think I don't like the origin, and that's my thing. That's why I love Spider-Man so much, because I love the origin, and I love like that it's just like just like a teenager.
Mm-hmm. I do like Spider-Man too.
So I'll watch all the Spider-Mans, even though I please just stop now.
See, I won't watch the Garfield ones anymore, but like I mean, I grew up with the Tobey Maguire movies, so of course I have a special place in my heart for those original three. But I don't know. Tom Holland is obviously an amazing Peter Parker too, so I like him as well.
Tobey killed me in that third movie. It was the
it's to the point now though, it's so bad it's good.
That was where I stopped the movie and I just didn't watch it anymore.
Okay, look, obviously I saw the third Spider-Man of the Tobey movies in theaters. I cried when James Franco died.
You're like, oh no, James Franco. No, it was too painful. I couldn't watch.
Yeah, I think in this third, is it Far From Home? What's this third one?
I don't know. They did so many fake titles that I lost.
I know. I forget which ones they're called now.
I lost grip on what the real one was.
No Way. They're like it's No Way Home. I think it's No Way Home. Yeah, they're blending all the multiverse. I'm excited for that. I think that's gonna be fun.
I wonder if they'll. No, that's too meta for them. I was like, I wonder if they'll put in an animated Miles Morales, and I was like, no, that's too much. That would be one step too far for them. But I'm like, include him.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Jillian, the commitment.
Yeah, that's intense. I did not do it 5 times. I think I only saw it once.
I couldn't handle it.
Yeah. I miss Tobey Maguire though in more movies because he's actually a pretty good actor.
Yeah, I like him. So I spent a lot of time thinking that for the longest time, I thought Jake Gyllenhaal was Tobey Maguire's like stunt double, and that they were just like putting him in movies now.
Well, the thing what they were gonna replace Tobey Maguire in the second Spider-Man with Jake Gyllenhaal. Like that was like the rumor at the time.
I would have never noticed. I would have thought it was the same person. But yeah, he doesn't really seem to be in that much stuff anymore.
But I also really like Jake Gyllenhaal when he played the villain in the last Spider-Man movie.
Yes.
I liked him.
I liked seeing him. I was happy that he was there.
Yeah. He's a good actor too, where he's just like he can do everything.
Yeah, pretty much. He just inserts himself. And poor Andrew Garfield. I was very obsessed with Andrew Garfield when the movies were announced, and then I was very excited, but then I like never ended up watching the second one because it was like weirdly low-key boring.
I never watched the second one.
That's the thing, like the first one just like didn't make me feel excited about watching more.
Yeah, exactly. Also, just... like, I mean, this is probably an unpopular opinion. I don't really like Emma Stone all that much. So, like, I'm not really pumped about seeing her in the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, I lost a lot of love for her. When that movie came out, I was at my height of both Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone love. And then I don't know what happened. I don't know when it happened with the Hawaii movie thing or like when it happened. I just like rapidly lost interest. Yeah. And now Cruella, I'm like, please stop. Please don't do it.
Yeah. I also don't like musicals and like the whole La La Land thing. I'm like,
yeah,
don't care. Oh, okay. Should we? Oh, yes. I'm waiting until all of the Falcon and Winter Soldier episodes are out, and then I'm gonna binge it. But yes,
yeah.
I love Buffy.
That's a good idea. I watched the first 2, and then more episodes came out, but then I just like couldn't. I don't know. I just like drop off. I can't watch things like that. I get distracted, and I can't be counted on. I need to just be able to watch it all at once. Unless it's like WandaVision was very good. That was compelling. Like big stuff always happens. So then I was more prompt.
And it was like a new decade with every episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
But I feel like I haven't like talked about like I feel weird like with fandom recently because like when the Hunger Games was out, I was like all over it. I talked about it so much. I did videos on it, but like with Shadow and Bone, I'm still just as excited for it, but like I haven't shared that. I feel like on social media.
I think I have for some, but that's again one of those tweets where like people are like, we don't care. But I'm very excited about it. But it's just like I think because people, I don't know, people were being like buck wild on Twitter, so that it was just like a lot. I'm sure that when I'm watching, I'll be all over my Instagram stories with all my little reactions and stuff. I think I just don't need to be on Twitter. It's just like people get so wild with the dumping stuff, and it's just like it becomes too much, and I'm like, I can't.
And like when I was watching one of the recent trailers, I was getting major Elena Gilbert from Vampire Diary vibes from Alina, and I'm like, oh, I'm probably not gonna like Alina in the TV show. She's gonna remind me too much of Elena.
I didn't watch Vampire Diaries, so I'm saved. I can't even truly remember how I felt about Alina when I read the books. I just
Same.
knew at the time I was in King of Scars, I was like very excited for her to come back and like to appear at some point. But like when I read Shadow and Bone, I can't even remember how I felt about her. I know I hated Mal with all of my heart.
Yeah, because he was a Gale.
Yes, 100% a Gale. And people are like, he's just a teenage boy, and I'm like, everybody else is a teenage boy though. Like it's a young adult book. I was like, they're all teenage boys, but he's a bad one. He annoys me. I'm upset with him.
There's like the same thing that I had problems with Gale is that same things I had problem with Mal is that they both feel like they are owed something from either Katniss or Elena. Like they kind of own them in a way that makes me mad. Just because you knew her before all this stuff happened doesn't give you like the rights to her.
Yes. And I did have to shift things because when I first read it, I was into the Darkling thing. But then I became an older adult and I was like, okay, I understand why this might not be it.
I mean, but yes, but
I was very mad about that. I stayed mad. Still mad.
I mean, it's like not so much that I ship the Darkling with Elena. It's just that I love the Darkling, period. So like
he's a very good villain. I'm like, isn't that what you want for a villain? If like there's a huge part of your fan base arguing about, oh, I love this person who is bad and you should hate this person. I was like, creating that discourse, I'm like, doesn't that show that you did so well? Like people that read the book were enchanted by him in the same way the main character was enchanted. I was like, that's a huge job well done. He's a great villain.
Yes.
Sorry, spoilers if you didn't know. With a name like the Darkling. None of us knew. Oh sorry, I have to close this door.
What did she say?
Like, sorry, I had to close the door.
Okay. I was like, I don't know where you went.
Yeah.
I mean, all the books, they're all displayed. They're my favorites. When I met Leigh Bardugo for the first time, I was talking to her and she interrupted me because she's like, you remind me you are who I picture as Genya. So like now I'm like, y'all fan cast me as
oh my gosh, the highest of compliments.
I know. I was like, I couldn't speak after that.
Yeah, what do you say to that? You just have to be like,
oh, thank you.
I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. Should we do one more sprint?
Yeah.
A shorter one? 15 minutes, maybe?
15 works.
Yes. Same thing. This is the same thing that was with Gale. He did not really go after her until she was with Peeta, who Peeta is the pinnacle of all YA love interests.
Peeta is the best boy.
Yep. Because he's not toxic. He's not an alpha hole. He listens. He can cook.
He had to go through his own stuff. The relationship felt earned because they had to like reshape everything. Oh, so good.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I think there's truly nothing wrong with just liking what you like. Leigh wrote it, and people ship them. There's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion.
Fictional ship.
Okay, so let me get. Get this back up. How do I do that? Oh, no, I did not want to do that. How do I get the screen back up?
I don't know. Push the share again.
Okay, wait. Oh, there we go.
Yay.
Back this up. So we're going to do one more 15-minute. Let's do this one. I haven't done this one. Yep.
They really want you to watch the Oscars.
They do. Oh, Grammarly. Can always rely on a Grammarly ad in AuthorTube.
At least the Oscars will be on YouTube. I was very upset about not being able to find anywhere to watch the Grammy.
Yeah, I have to I always have to like go to like some weird Russian site to like stream it. The Oscars.
It's so weird. And NBC like hates Canadians, and so you can never watch anything off of any of their like network websites. And we can't get stuff like Peacock, so
Okay. Last sprint of the day. Good luck, everybody. Okay, sprint over.
You looked briefly distraught.
I was like trying to stop it, and then I was like, what do I say? I got exactly 300. Oh, 301.
Yeah.
But that was pretty good for 15 minutes.
That's great. I finished editing up a little blog interview thing I had to do, and that was basically it. And then I was like, I went to my sequel and I was like, I can do more planning. And then I was like, no, I don't want to. I'm going to do more on Sunday. And so I did that instead. And then quickly read over one of my little mini chapters in my horror because it has like little social media breaks where I've like done like a faux Instagram post and like comments and stuff. So I was just looking over one that I had written.
Yeah, I'm only like 18 words shy of hitting 1,000 for the day.
Oh, so close.
312, 219. Thank you for coming. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good 526. That's amazing for 15 minutes.
Great progress.
Yay. Oh, why won't it click? Oh, good job.
Yay.
That's okay. You can't edit 0 words, so
It's true.
823 for the day.
Yay.
Good job, everybody, and thanks for coming. Even 2.5 hours, that's pretty
good
standard, I guess, for stream. Yeah. So I guess this is where we're gonna call it. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and I guess we'll see you soon.
Yeah. See you later.
Bye.